All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-through. Shout out to Prajith, everybody else who's on the come up. This is a little help with centroids here, and I've definitely decided, since this is such a good algebra/geometry review, that I'd be crazy not to change the exam and put something like this on there. Okay. All right, I'm going to do this without any graph paper, so we're relying strictly on algebra. Then you're also going to get a little graphing calculator bonus here. I'll show you how to solve a system of equations in your graphing calculator. That makes this easier because we don't have to mess with the fractions. Okay, so we're just going to start by sketching an axis and graphing our points. So we've got 3, 5. Notice I don't even put tick marks on here. I just want to get a ballpark. And I'll call that A. And then you've got -5, 5. And I'll call that B. And then 10-ish, 8. And I'll call that C. And this is going to be annoying. But that's okay, because the problem is kind of annoying. Nice straight edge. Okay, so we've got an obtuse triangle, and where is the centroid found? At the intersection of the medians. Medians are always on the inside, so it's not on the outside. Okay? The reason why is the medians are always on the inside of a triangle. How do I find the medians? Okay, I think I'm going to find this one here because it looks like I can find it pretty easily. And I'm going to call that X. What is that point? -1, 5. Okay, this was a stupid place to write point A, so let me move this down here and call this A and screw up some other things instead. All right. I don't know that one's easier than the other. Anyone have a midpoint they want to tell me? Yeah, Gabs? The midpoint of AC, 6.5, 6.5, and we'll just call that Y, okay? Yes? I do not need the third one. Why do I not need the third one, class? Yes, the centroid is the intersection of all 3 medians. But if it's the intersection of all 3 medians, then it's also the intersection of 2 medians. So I could clearly find the other one, but I would be doing unnecessary work. And this problem's long enough as it is. So I need to find the equation of that line. I need to find the equation of that line. And where those 2 equations meet, that will be our centroid. Okay? So, let's just break this up into 2 different charts. And let's start with XC. We need to know the slope. What's the slope of XC? 3 on top, 8 minus 5 over 11. And do you agree that that line looks positive? And what do we need to find? Okay, we need to find the y-intercept. One way to do that is just start with y equals mx plus b. Give me a y value. Okay, we went with 8, but that would have been a fine one. Okay, what's our m? What's our x when y is 8? So we do have to use 10 plus b, so you get 8 equals 30 elevenths plus b. 8 is 88 elevenths. 88 elevenths minus 30 elevenths is 58 elevenths equals b. We have our m, we have our b, so now what do we have? No, you can't. Then you'd have 11y equals 3x. Now, you could do that to solve it, but you don't want to do that yet. You want y equals mx plus b. Okay, so now let's take a look at which line? by, thank you. What will be the first thing we find in by, Paul? Okay, can you find that for me? It's going to be a little nastier than the last one, I think. 1.5 on top. You guys make sure you check Paul. Over 11.5, so we would double the top and double the bottom. Very good, Paul. Okay, so now what do? That's what we got to find b. We don't know b. Oh, okay, yes. Plug in a point and solve for the intercept is what we should do. Okay, so do that for me, Ben. Okay, so 5 times 23 is? So that's the same thing as 115 23rds. And then I want to add 15 23rds to both sides, so what do I get for b? And our equation? And now we need to find the intersection of those two equations. Do you agree, Marilena? Yes, you would. You set them equal to each other. Here's where I'm going to try to do something a little different. Okay? Can you hit the lights for me? Thank you. Okay, so you will see that I already typed these in just to save time on the video. This I put my slope in parentheses because that all needs to multiply by x. So you get y equals 3/11 x plus 58. Just showing you that I have it typed in right, plus 58/11. And on the next one, plus 130 divided by 23. Everybody so far so good? And then you just graph them. And now you'll see that, look, these lines look a lot like my black lines. Don't you agree? And that makes me feel good. So check this out. This calculate is where a lot of your most powerful functions for algebra are nested in your calculator. So I want to hit the blue button. And what do I want to calculate? The intersection. And all I do is get to the left of the intersection and hit enter. And then get to the right of the intersection and hit enter. And then it says, would you like for me to take a guess? I sure would. Bam. That's your answer. 2 2/3, comma 6. Does that answer looks like it makes sense? Okay? Sid. Then you'd have to set 3/11 x plus 58/11 equals 3/23 x plus 130 23rds. You got to solve it, and the answer will be 2 2/3. Then you got to plug that back in for y and do it right, which is why we tell you to get a graphing calculator when you come to Sycamore High School. Okay? But it's okay. You could totally do it without one. It's just going to take you a little longer. Now, this is the point where I want to bring up my boy Prajith. Prajith has only lived in the U.S. since August. He's never taken an algebra class. He really struggled with Geometry Accelerated, but he loves math, and so I didn't want him to drop, so I just was like, stick with it. You'll get this, okay? And he now has like a 99% in Geometry Accelerated. He probably doesn't have a smartphone, although he might, but he does have the internet because we give it to him. So what does he do with his internet connection? He actually has genuine interest in math. So instead of going to my Blackboard site and looking for the answers, he just did some research on this. And he found out that if you just average the points, it gives you the answer. So, what's negative 5 plus 3? And negative 2 plus 10? And what's 8 divided by 3? Which is? And what's 5 plus 8? 13 plus 5? 18 divided by 3? Well, that's a lot easier. Hey, this just shows you. It just shows you that all you're doing is running on the mouse wheel. You're taking this free internet and using it for everything that's not helping you. Okay? And it also shows you that sometimes it's the people that are the hungriest that turn out to be the most successful. Not the people that are given the most, but the people that want it the most. Okay? Alright, good job. You can count on the fact that I will put something like this on the test, but it probably won't be a centroid now because of that little trick. It'll probably be perpendicular bisectors. Boom! That's right, Bryn. Wake up.